Hi, it's Anna, isn't it?
Hey, Peter, how are you? I haven't seen you for ages.
Yeah, I think it was 4 years ago at Kathy's graduation party. Do you still see her?
I saw her last week, in fact. She's just had a baby.
Oh, wow. I can't believe that. Kathy, a mother.
I can't believe how different you look.
Do you think so?
Yeah, you've changed your hairstyle completely. You used to have really long hair, didn't you?
Yeah, I got tired of washing and brushing it 5 times a day.
And of course, you used to have a beard. You've shaved that off too.
Hey, that's true. I haven't had a beard for at least 3 years now.
And where are your glasses? You've stopped wearing your glasses with the red frames.
Oh, they were terrible. I can't believe you can still remember them. I wear contact lenses now.
They were so you, those glasses. So, what else is different with you?
Well, I've changed my job too. You remember I used to work in the bookstore?
Yeah.
Well, I've another job now and it's a lot better.
What do you do now?
I work for a computer software company in the city. The pay is great and the job is pretty interesting too.
That sounds terrific. What about Benji?
Benji? Who's he?
Don't tell me you've forgotten about that old Volkswagen you used to drive around in.
Benji? Wow! I can't believe you remembered. I've bought a new car now and it doesn't have a name. So what about you? What's changed in your life since we last saw each other?
Very little, actually. I've moved into a new apartment on the other side of town. That place I used to live in was just too small and cramped for me.
But you live so close to your job.
Yeah, well, I've changed my job too, just like you. Now, I work for my father in the sales department, so I'm pretty close to the office.
Look, I've got to hurry off now, but it's been great talking to you. What do you say? Shall we meet up for dinner or a drink this week and catch up on old times?
Absolutely. Here's my home number. You can reach me anytime after 7.
Okay, I'll call in a day or two and we'll get something together. Bye for now, Anna.
Bye, Peter.
Hi, this is Larry Watson here with the Evening Sports News. In tennis, the Brazilian Diego Garcia reached the semi-finals of the French Open. The 26-year-old from Sao Paulo, knocked out in the first round last year in Paris, managed to overcome the Swiss player Heinz Grüller in 4 sets. Garcia said he was delighted with his victory and put it down to having changed his coach last winter. The 2 Americans, Rod Langer and Brad Wilson, will play in the second semi-final tomorrow to decide who will play Garcia. We stay in France, where today the 5th stage of the Tour de France took place. The 74 cyclists have already entered the mountains, and the Italian Gianfranco Baresi took first place after a long, steep climb up to finishing line after 184 miles in the hot sun. Baresi now leads the Tour by over 6 minutes, and it will take something special to take the yellow jersey off him. Golf. And today was the first day's play in the IBM Open in Tennessee. Stormy weather played its part, and the players didn't tee off until around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Once play did get underway, the Australian Mark Chappell played some superb shots and finished the day on 5 under par 67, 2 shots clear of Mark McGonigal from Scotland and the local boy Chav Connor. Shot of the day, however, went to the unknown Canadian Ross Werter, who made an unbelievable hole-in-one on the short 12th hole. Werter held his head in his hands as his wayward shot seemed to be heading for the lake, but it miraculously hit a wooden post, bounced back onto the green, and into the hole, to the delight of the capacity crowd. In Tokyo today, the final qualification for tomorrow's Japanese Grand Prix took place in rainy conditions. Gert Kruger, driving for Ferrari, finished the day in pole position and looks in a great position to consolidate his lead in the World Championship standings. The Jaguar driver, Eddie Cochran, was the early leader in the qualifying sessions, held in heavy rain and gusting winds. But Kruger showed his best form as the racetrack dried out a little later on. Finally, tonight's baseball scores. Pittsburgh were beaten 10-2 by a strong Milwaukee side. Boston overcame the Yankees by 7-3. The Chicago White Sox shaded a close game 4-3 against Cleveland. Tampa Bay came out on top 8-5 in Toronto, and Houston saw off St. Louis by 4-1. That concludes this evening's Sports Roundup. My name is Larry Watson, and I'll be back at midnight.
Welcome to Haybridge Hall, and thank you for choosing to use our Guide-O-Matic to help you make the most out of your stay here. This guide is available in 6 other languages. Just ask at the ticket office. The general history of the house is as follows. Haybridge Hall was constructed at the end of the 15th century and was originally called Hawken Hall, after the first family who owned it. Jack Hawken was a local businessman who had become wealthy thanks to success with wool exports. The house has changed very little in the last 500 years, with the exception of the Dawson Conservatory, which can be found behind the ticket office. This was added in 1941 when the British Army was using Haybridge Hall as a headquarters for the 8th Army. Churchill is said to have spent 2 nights at Haybridge in the main guest bedroom in the build-up to the Normandy landings in June 1944. The Hawken family only managed to hold on to this fine property for around a decade before they had to sell and the name Haybridge was used by the aristocrats who bought it. The Yardley family was not from this area, but from the north of England. They owned Haybridge for some 200 years and turned the surrounding area into productive farmland where various crops, from wheat to potatoes, were grown. The Yardley family left Haybridge in 1722, and the property was left empty for some 60 years or so, falling in the meantime into quite a state of disrepair. It was during this period of neglect that the small church built on the grounds of the house in the early 16th century crumbled into ruins. Little is known about this church, although one drawing of it survives. A local artist, Timothy Warsden, sketched the church in 1728, a mere 6 years after the Yardley family moved out. Haybridge Hall's destiny seemed to have been that of long-term neglect and eventual destruction, but the renowned local author William Houghton bought Haybridge in 1784 and spent 3 years and a considerable amount of money renovating the mansion. By this time, the amount of land belonging to the property had been considerably reduced and consisted of the few acres you see today. The Houghton family stayed at Haybridge until the beginning of the Second World War, when the British Army took over the property. After the war, the surviving members of the Houghton family decided it would prove too costly to move back into Haybridge Hall, and so the property came to be owned by the charitable organization English Heritage, who runs it to this day. English Heritage undertook an extensive renovation operation in the 1970s, costing over $10 million. The aim of this work was to return Haybridge Hall to something of its glory days, when it was owned by the Yardley family for 2 centuries. Specialist builders and craftsmen from all over the world were employed in an attempt to reconstruct the best possible example of a 17th century country house. Haybridge Hall remains to this day one of the finest examples of British Renaissance architecture, and the furnishings within give an authentic idea of what country life was like 3 to 4 centuries ago in this country. Last year, over 60,000 visitors took the same path through Haybridge Hall that you yourself are taking today. Now please press button 2 if you would like to hear something about the first floor furniture. Press button 3 if you would like to hear more information about the gardens of Haybridge Hall.
Good morning, PowerNet Software. This is Jackie. Can I help you?
Hi, I've been trying to order some of your software from the website, but there seems to be a problem because my order didn't go through.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, sir. The technical department sent everyone a memo this morning saying there was a problem with one of the servers. That's probably why you had some difficulty.
Would it be possible for me to place my order through you now? I really need this software as soon as possible. It's for my work, you see. I don't want to have to wait until tomorrow as I might be out seeing customers.
Okay, sure. Now then, what is it you would like to order from us?
Your site had a great offer on something called VivaVoce. The price was something like 25% of the normal recommended retail price. Could you tell me something more about the product, please?
Well, I'm afraid that price is only available for those of our customers who order through our site.
That's hardly fair, is it? I just tried to order through your site and, as I told you, the sale wouldn't go through. Can't you give me that discount anyway?
Yeah, I think that would be all right. It's not as if it's your fault. Now, what did you want to know about VivaVoce? It's one of our best-selling products.
Do you have that program also in the Professional Edition? I only saw the Standard Edition, but we need the extra recording software which comes with the Professional Edition.
Fine, let's have a look. Yes, we have the Professional Edition, and that is also discounted 25%.
Now, in our office, there are both Windows and Mac computers. How much is the Mac version of this software? I don't want to have to pay too much more.
We don't seem to have the Mac version in stock at the moment. It's arriving this evening or tomorrow morning.
One more question for you, and then I'll be done. Is there a microphone included with the software? I tried to find out from your website, but it didn't seem to be very clear whether there was a mic included or not.
Yes, all our speech recognition software comes with a free microphone, although between you and me, the quality isn't the best. I would recommend you buy a higher quality one, especially if you're planning to use this for your work.
Thanks a lot for that information. Those free mics are usually pretty poor, aren't they? Okay, we're done. I have ordered through you before, and my customer number is 794791. You should have all my contact information and credit card number on file.
794791. Let's see. Oh, yes. Here you are, Mr. David Thompson. Is that correct?
Yes, that's me. How long will the delivery take?
You should have this by Wednesday. Can I just confirm then? You want one Windows edition and one Mac edition when it comes through to us this evening or tomorrow.
No, just send me the one Windows Professional. We'll just have to wait to do all the speech recognition work on the Windows computers. It's not such a big deal.
Great. Thanks for calling PowerNet Software. Have a nice morning.
Thanks very much. Goodbye.
Hi, I'm Maggie.
Sorry?
Maggie Brown. I'm the mother of Billy. I was told you would be here. You're his English teacher, aren't you?
Oh, of course. Billy's mother. Hi, nice to meet you. Yes, I wanted to speak to you about Billy's work.
I hope there isn't a problem.
Well, not exactly. I think Billy has made some good improvements this year compared to last year.
Well, of course. Last year we were new to the area. You know, we moved here from Los Angeles, and it wasn't a very settled time for Billy. Well, all the family, really. So Billy probably didn't do his best work last year. But I thought he had improved enormously this year. That's the case, isn't it?
As I was saying, I think Billy most certainly has improved a lot since last year. I just think there are one or two other things he needs to work on, so I wanted to have a chat with you this evening.
Well, I'm sure he's been doing his very best. You know, he's only 12, and it's not easy when—
Yes, certainly, Mrs. Brown. Part of what I wanted to say to you tonight is that Billy's work has been much better. We put a story that he wrote back in March in the school newspaper. Did you see it?
I can't believe it. I never had any idea. He's such a modest boy. He would never show me anything like that.
Oh, really? I'm surprised you never got to see it. It really was a well-crafted piece of writing. Very mature article, considering the age of Billy.
Well, I don't know what to say. But you said he was having problems?
He is still having enormous difficulties with his spelling, and it concerns me.
Yes, Billy has always been pretty weak with his spelling. We have tried at home to help him. His sister Kathy often spends time with him, testing him on words that he often gets wrong. I'm sure that's helpful, isn't it?
Oh, yes, without a doubt. Andy's enjoying doing this extra spelling work at home, isn't he?
Yes, he knows it's important to be able to spell better, but he's always had trouble getting his words right. You know, when he's writing. You don't think there's anything more serious wrong with him, do you?
I think it's possible he may have a mild form of dyslexia. You've heard of dyslexia, haven't you?
Yes, of course I have. But you're not seriously suggesting Billy has dyslexia, are you?
Dyslexia comes in many shapes and sizes, of different severity. I would like to send him to see a specialist, and I wanted to speak to you about it first. This wouldn't be a problem for you, would it?
No, of course not. I'll do anything I can to help. You've got me really worried now, though.
Oh, Mrs. Brown, it's nothing to worry about. My own son had a mild form of dyslexia when he was Billy's age, and he's now a published author. Telephone the school office tomorrow morning, and we can arrange an appointment for early next week.
Thank you, Mr. Jarvis. I'll telephone the office at 9 o'clock sharp.
That'll be fine. Now, have a good evening.
Hello, my name is Harry Menzies. That's M-E-N-Z-I-E-S. I purchased a pool table from Excalibur Sports a week ago. Now, I ordered it online last Tuesday, and it arrived only 3 days later. I was amazed and very happy at the speed of service. But then the problems started, unfortunately. I had to assemble the pool table, and this was quite difficult. The first major complaint I have is that the instruction booklet included with the pool table was written only in Spanish and Polish. At least, I think it was Polish, although I couldn't be sure. I don't think this is very helpful for me. I can't believe you wouldn't include the assembly instructions in English. Anyway, I managed to follow the diagrams and get the pool table put together in about 2 hours. Once I had put it together, I noticed the white ball, you know, the cue ball, wasn't in the rack of balls. How am I supposed to be able to play any games without the cue ball? Luckily, a friend of mine came over with his cue ball, and we were able to play a game. A single game only, because it quickly became obvious that the table was defective. The roll of the balls was not very true. They kept curving to the left or the right, so I think there's a problem with the main slate of the table. I don't really know enough about pool tables to know what the problem could be. I just know I don't want to spend $800 for a pool table that can't be used. Here is some information about me, and I would appreciate it if you could get back to me as soon as possible. My name is Harry Menzies, and my customer number is 45993. The order number for my pool table order was GH12338. You can get in touch with me on my home phone number 348-288-41. Please get in touch with me as soon as possible to let me know how we can resolve these problems. I am also going to write a letter to your head office, as I think it's important to have this complaint down in writing. I really hope to hear from you as soon as possible. Okay, bye-bye.